I'm a driver for the supernatural, part 2.
Hello dear readers and hopefully fellow drivers. If my warning was at all listened to, I've found an appropriate amount of time in my schedule to write you again that may or may not have to do with me having to wait for my arm to reattach itself. A riveting story I may choose to tell here at some point when the scars from the encounter are more mental than physical. In the meantime, I've prepared a few more memories for you of things that go bump in the night. Stacy, vampires. Do vampires always have to have such big orders? I think as I drag a large, heavy cooler into the trunk of Jez, who lets out a small growl of protest. Opening the cooler to check the order, I see it's perfectly intact, all 23 bags of blood from the general hospital, all a positive. And then I prepare, Jez gets a garlic necklace round her rearview mirror. And I get silver everywhere. I shudder thinking about the task to come, absently rubbing a line of scars on my arms. Vampires may be overrated, but damn me if they aren't old and powerful. As I pull into the building, I swear a couple hundred times, realizing I am delivering into an abandoned ally. The shadows look as the sounds of the night distort into monstrous form. I step out of the car, dragging the cooler behind me and trying not to collapse from a stress aneurysm. Out of nowhere, a flash of movement knocks me to the floor in a shrieking blur of raw strength and hostile intent. Straddling me is a powerfully built woman barely under 7 foot tall. I feel my ribs crack as I hit the floor. Not too long after, the silver kicks in, burning her hands and sending her stumbling back. "You fucking bitch," she says, beginning to channel a dark energy into hand. The air becomes heavier as I struggle to breath, coughing and sputtering as a bit of blood comes out from my mouth. Just for a moment she fixates on it, drool slightly coming down from her no doubt starving lips. Delivery for Stacy. And that, my dear readers, was the first meeting of a beautiful friendship. Stacy is somewhat of a vampire mercenary who works as hired muscle for any clan that has the money to pay for her abilities. Turns out Jez and I are a reliable and most importantly discreet ride to wherever she needs to be. And I got a tattoo with her blood after an unfortunate incident involving ambush. I just barely pulled her out of alive. I fucking hate most vampires, but Stacy has had my back for some odd 3 years now and is easily my best if not only true friend in the business. My advice for vampires: dress for the occasion, aim for the heart, and for the love of God, cover your fucking neck. Lucia, dear, I don't just pray to anyone or anything you believe in, you make it out unscathed. Asmodeus, Belphegor, and Lucifer, demons. I wasn't even on a delivery, just on a nice Monday drive to clear my head. Without so much of a blink of my eye, the sky turns blood red, obsidian clouds rolling in the sky. The car becomes almost sweltering hot as a man dressed in a sharp 3-piece suit appears sitting in Jez's back seat, a set of round red-tinted sunglasses poorly concealing his pitch-black eyes. "Good evening, I heard you are a coveted member of Fire Driver. It may be unorthodox, but could you transport me for just a little while? Just keep driving straight down this road if you don't mind," he says, the wicked smile that doesn't reach the rest. His soulless deadpan face lets me know immediately this is not a request I should refuse. A little unexpected, but I'm not one to turn down a customer, I say, trying to smile in a way that doesn't reveal how much this man unsettles my soul. VIP Stories, February 24th, 1728. Very good. I'm not one to beat around the bush, so let's not dodge the subject. I am Lucifer, as in the devil, enemy of God. I wanted to have a little chat with you and offer you a deal. The air itself seems to want to pull me into hell itself, and I feel the unmistakable sensation of countless eyes boring into me. Your soul belongs to the entity entrapping you in this business, but I want to sponsor you. Nothing too bad, I assure you. All you have to do is complete some tasks for me and make a few special deliveries, and in return I lend you the material you need to make one of those special tattoos of yours. Think of it, friend, the power of Lucifer himself, yours to command, pride eternal, the strongest of all the sins, yours to take, and all I want is you to do the odd job for me when I ask. Now that's not so bad, is it? His smile continues, growing sickly, pointed yellow teeth on full display as his obsidian eyes burn my soul and dare me, no, command me to submit to his terms, but I know I can't. I may work a foul industry, but to make a deal with the devil would brand me forever to the legions of hell. And I just knew deep somewhere unknown to me for all my years I would suffer eternal if I did not say no to this man. I'm apologies, Mr. Morningstar, but I simply cannot accept. Favoritism to my customers is not part of my personal policies. The man's smiles quickly disappears. I feel like the car will quickly become my tomb if it becomes any hotter, and Jez screeches with effort as the atmosphere around us becomes thick with unbridled malice. Make no mistake, I am trying to do you a favor. Do you really think nobody has noticed your continued antics in this field? You're becoming a presence in the gaps, and if you do not take my deal, I promise you this will not be the end. There are many abominations that will stop at nothing to manipulate you to their ends. His voice booms like it's being fed through a subwoofer full blast. I feel my skin blistering underneath his hateful gaze. For the first time since starting this job, Jez goes from a safe haven to a living coffin closing in on me. No offense, Mr. Morningstar, I take a few steaming breaths to fight back the fear and pain. Aren't you doing the same thing? Unfortunately, he ended up being right. After that day, I ended being harassed constantly by demons, angels, eldritch abominations, and weird chibi animals wanting to make me into Sailor Moon or some shit. Even now, thinking back on those 2 months of a constant stream of manipulation and bullshit threatens to give me a bloody migraine. Finally, one day when Asmodeus and Belphegor were tag-teaming me in a desperate bid to be my demonic sponsor after a compelling offer from the angel Ezekiel not even 5 minutes before, I finally snapped and accepted. To be honest, it's not that bad. Turns out Belphegor, or Bella as they prefer to be called, is almost always too lazy to do anything with our contract, and Asmodeus, or Aster, mostly has me bust succubi around, which admittedly is a pain in its own ways, but overall not bad. My advice for demons: hold out as long as possible, they get desperate when the angels show up. Dinner, Wendigo. So remember how I said my tattoo gives me various supernatural abilities based on what monster I got it from? Well, yeah, this particular encounter will explain why having magic bullshit in your corner is so important. It's also at this point as I'm writing this I realized I should probably be explaining exactly what each of my tattoos do. For context, at this point in my career I only had 8 aside from the base tattoo, 1 from all the creatures mentioned in my writings so far, and 2 from creatures that have specifically requested I not talk about them here. Honestly, the powers come so naturally to me most of the time I forget that I need to explain them to strangers even when it would be beneficial for the people in question to know. VIP Stories, February 24th, 1728. As I already said, Artemis gives me perfect working knowledge of alchemy. After that there's Selkie, who gives me the ability to see in the dark and climb on literally any surface. Stacy, who gives me the ability to regenerate from almost any physical injury so long as I don't deplete my stores of magic energy. Lucia, who gives me the ability to run really fast and perceive creatures that normally run faster than a human I can track. Belphegor, who gave me the ability to recover magic by sleeping. Normal, you need fresh blood or deep meditation. Asmodeus, how gave me the ability to shoot hellfire and other more bedroom-suited abilities. And my other 2 mystery friends, who gave me the ability to teleport about 5 inches in any direction I want 3 times a day and the ability to turn invisible for about 5 minutes at a time with about a 10-minute cooldown. With that explanation out of the way, let's get down to the real story. I'll admit I was getting a little cocky by this point into my job, only a year and a half in, and I had some good reliable contacts and power to spare for most jobs I handled. Sure, against any monster with more than the baseline power for its species I'd most likely be fucked, but I could hold my own against hunters and a vast majority the monsters I came across, at least long enough to bail my ass back to the safety of Jez anyway. That being said, I found myself with cold sweats looking at my task for this delivery: body retrieval. I know I say this a lot, but I fucking hate body retrieval. On the surface it's simple: a monster fucked up some poor guy and now I have to go haul his ass somewhere so the police or park rangers or whatever actually have a shot at finding the body. Problem with this is that whatever killed the guy is almost always lurking around and will inevitably be pissed you're trying to take away its midday snack. I'm telling you this, RN, if you aren't absolutely 100% sure you're ready for a fight with whatever fucked up thing you're stealing the body from, do not accept body retrieval jobs. Whatever the app does to punish you is still better than being dead. So yeah, I accepted the body retrieval job. I was nervous, sure, but I was confident I could handle it. That was until my stop put me at the edge of a fucking forest. Home of literally every ridiculously ancient and powerful monster not currently napping at the bottom of the fucking ocean. Shit. I cursed. It had to be a fucking forest in the middle of the night. Fucking great. Just if I'm not out of this in like 39 minutes, find a nice family. To which the old girl whined sadly. Good to know someone will miss me when I'm dead. I walked slowly through the forest following the fire navigation. Somehow it keeps me on track even though I lost reception an hour ago. I'm breathing heavily under the oppressive aura of the dark trees around me. About 15 minutes back the sounds of the forest stopped. A single rustle in the bush. I whip around to nothing. Suddenly I'm blindsided by a claw to the side of my head, sending me spiraling into the side of a tree. Lucky me, my regeneration kicks in and starts sealing me back up. Hurts like a bitch though, and I start to panic mentally. Regeneration sucks through my stores of magic. I can only take about 5 more hits like that before I'm dead. Only good thing is the creature obviously isn't used to dealing with